Tauheedah Washington, along with my co-host,
Tarsha.
We welcome everyone that is joining us live tonight. Tonight we have a special event, a special episode with our lovely sons here with us. Tonight's discussion is going to be called, Am I My Brother's Keeper? We have two special guests. We decided that we wanted to get the aspects of the siblings involved. Whoever may have missed last week was our launch. We are a healing podcast where we are showcasing the experience of parents and siblings that have lost children. Our platform is basically allowing the parents to showcase the world how they have turned their pain into purpose. We have parents that have started organizations in memory of their children that are no longer with us. We thought it was important to bring our children on. Me and Tasha had a discussion about the siblings, and on our journey to healing, grieving over the loss of our sons, we realized that not only as the mother of the child, that our surviving children also were having difficulties in grieving over the loss of a sibling. So we wanted to provide this platform tonight to give them an opportunity to share their opinions on losing their brother, how it affects them, also how they've turned their pain into purpose, and provide what coping skills that they've used on their journey, and then to open up on being a young black man in America and the challenges that they face as black men. So I guess before we get started and introducing the boys, Tasha, did you want to kind of chime in as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's very important what Tauheedah had touched on as far as the parents and the moms, the stages of grief that we endure and we go through on a daily basis, and not, taking in consideration the children. Because I know in the very beginning, when I lost Joshua, I felt I couldn't mother my other children. Mm-hmm. So I know that was a rough thing for Jeffrey to go through, because that pushed him right into that role of being the big brother. Right. Because I have 3 sons remaining now, so that's definitely going to be a very great topic for us to get into tonight and try to dissect that and get down to the bottom of that. But also, just even with, like Tauheedah mentioned about coping skills, and even if you guys feel like you don't know, what I'm saying, we can talk about all of that, so we can help you get to some healthy things to try to focus on and help you to get through, when you're having those rough times and those rough days, because I know it's absolutely every day for me, but
Absolutely. And allowing the guys to open up, because as we had discussed with Big Jeff last week, a lot of times men internalize their pain, and it's very difficult for them to show their emotions and show their feelings. And like as Tasha stated, when you've lost a child and you're consumed in your grief and you do have other children, it's like almost you have to snap out of that trance of, I'm still a mom and I still have to mother my children. Mm-hmm. And my children that remain, and it's not their fault that they've lost a sibling, and they need emotional support as well. So that was you and I had that discussion very early on. Mm-hmm. With them, mobile moms, and some of the phone calls that we've had, the difficulties. It is a blessing to still have children on this earth to mother, but the difficulty of when you're trapped in your own grief as a grieving mother, being able to be emotionally available and provide the support for your children that are still here with us. So, all right, so we will get right in. I guess, fellas, before we get started with the questions, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Lawrence Washington.
right. Lawrence is my baby boy. Him and Tajir were 4 years apart, and although Lawrence has other siblings through his father, he has 3 other siblings. Tajir was the sibling that he grew up with that was in the house, and my oldest child. So I know that it has been a very difficult journey for you, and I'm glad that you're here with us to give your story and some insight tonight.
And then over here, I have, everybody know I call him my princess. So I have my second prince. So this is Jeffrey, who was my second born child, but now he is the oldest since we lost Joshua. And I'm happy that he was able also to come out tonight to be on the podcast to talk about things that he's been going through since the loss in 2019.
Absolutely. So we welcome you guys both, and we know that this is not easy to open up. So we just want you guys to be comfortable, and we thank you guys for being part of the podcast tonight, because I know Tasha and I both, we thank the world of you guys, and we just admire your strength and thank y'all for being on. So I guess we can hop right in, and we just have some questions to ask, and we just want y'all to kind of be free and open to, feel free to share what you would like to share. So if you don't mind, Jeff, if we can start with you. So I guess if you could just kind of let us know, since 2019, May 2019, since losing Joshua, what the road has been for you, and what challenges has it been, and how have you been coping since losing your brother?
At first, it was kind of hard because I felt like it was just only me. I had to be strong for everybody else in my family. So it was, at first, I couldn't really talk about it or feel some type of way because I had to be that glue for my family, and I had to be the strong one. But as the years went on, I had family and I had friends that come talk to me and really help me through that. And I had my parents that ask me basically on a daily basis how I'm feeling and how life in general is since I lost my brother. So I just been taking it day by day. Some days are harder than others, but I made peace with it about a couple years ago, and now I'm just going with life, living through him, and everything I do is for my brother and my sister and my little brothers.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. Thank you for sharing it. And that one term is something that Tasha and I kind of model between this platform of Pretty in Peace and with Mobile Moms, is finding peace. Because when you have such a tough loss, and someone that has been near and dear, and with him being your older brother, you've known him all your life, and I'm sure even though your younger brothers, they miss him just as much, but you guys were closer because you were the oldest, so you knew him the longest, so certainly the effect would be greater on you being that sibling closest to Joshua. So thank you for opening up. And
so Woody, could you just explain a little bit, same scenario question that for Jeffrey, since losing Tajir, how have you been? I mean, like honestly, how what's your day to day mentally, missing your brother? How has that been for you?
It's a lot that I do with it. When I wake up and each morning, I just look to the ceiling and I just pray to God that I know my big brother's in a better place. He with my grandfather right now. He with all the legends right now, partnering, having a good time. So it don't really affect me as much because I know he's in a better place and he's at peace. But it be days where I'd be like, man, I wish my big brother was here to just see this basketball game, or just here with me hooping, you know, just all the good times we used to have. But majority, how I spend my time with it, me and my brother talk all the time. Like anytime, like a picture pulls up to my phone or a little memory on Snapchat pulls up, me and my brother either outside being kids playing basketball, or we just in the crib playing the game and having fun, having a good time. So when I look at stuff like that, it really makes me happy, because I know, like, whatever I go through, whatever I become in life, I know my big brother is proud of me, and he just wanted me to keep on going, keep on living, and making his name still be alive to this day.
Yes,
That's
I
great.
love that.
That's great.
You have such an old spirit talking about something in a better place. You listen, let me tell you something. You are more mature than I am, because losing my son, I don't want him to be in a better place. I want him to be here with me. But I definitely respect that, and I understand where you're coming from. And one day I'll possibly get there one day, you know, to feel that way. But I love that. That is so awesome.
So thank you so much from opening up and sharing. And I tell you all the time, I admire your strength, because I know how much Tauheedah meant to you, and how much he meant to us. And if you don't mind me sharing, Lawrence had shared something with me that was very powerful. Our family bloodline, we're dreamers, and Lawrence had told me a couple weeks ago that he had a dream of Tauheedah and my father, and my father was a younger virgin, and my father basically came to him, and he said that he looked at Tauheedah and was like, "Where you been at, man?" And my father told him he's been with me. And so that, I told Lawrence that, that gave me a lot of peace, because I have had dreams of Tauheedah and my father separately, but never together. So, when we lost Tauheedah, that kind of has been my saving grace, that I know that my father was there to catch him when he crossed over. And for Lawrence to validate that with a dream, it just, like I told him, I said, that gave me so much peace and solitude of knowing that they're together. So, and I thank you for sharing that with me, and thank you for sharing how you've been coping. Like I told you, I admire your strength. You are an incredible kid. I really admire your strength. Thank you so much. So we'll pop back over to you, Josh. So back to the peace and moving forward. What type of advice would you give, say another someone your age that has lost a sibling, and it's fresh, it's raw, because we're both kind of in close proximity with the loss. I'm not sure if your mom shared, Joshua passed May 2019, Tauheedah passed October 2019, so we were within the same year. So now we're going into the 4th year, so we've had some time to kind of dissect and chew on it. But how about the gentleman that just lost a sibling? Like, what type of advice would you give someone that just suffered that type of loss?
Some advice I would give somebody that just suffered that type of loss is, it's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
You don't have to fake it. You don't have to be strong.
Yes.
And it's always okay to ask for help. People are scared to ask for help. Always ask for help. Go to your loved ones. Go to a friend. Go to whoever. Just take it day by day. It's hard, but it gets better. It's a progress. It's a work in progress.
That's good. That's good. And that's powerful. It's okay not to be okay. And I think in a society where social media paints a picture of always be happy, don't let things get to you, where we're supposed to stay positive and upbeat, but the reality is when you lose someone close, it's going to affect you. And acknowledging that is part of the healing process in itself, is that no, I'm not okay that my brother has passed away and I'm never going to see him again. And acknowledging that is part of the grief process and part of the healing process too. So that's great that you bring that to the surface. And I think that coming from a man, that's powerful, because a lot of times men are taught, don't show your emotions and feelings, just push through it. And I believe that's why the suicide rate is so high within men, because they're taught this false perception that they don't supposed to feel pain too, and you're going to feel pain because we're human. So thank you for that. That's really powerful.
Mm-hmm. And I definitely I'm definitely proud of your growth, Jeffrey, because I remember in 2019 when it happened, you had told a family member, they were asking how you were doing, and you was like, how are you dealing with your brother passing? And you was like, people die. But see, Jeffrey's history behind that, speaking back from 2019, is at a very young age, he watched one of his friends in the neighborhood die from an allergic reaction. He was a little boy. So that was the first death. And then he's lost some friends as well as Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? They go to high school and stuff with. So he's had a lot of deaths around him. But then when it came down to his brother, he was already numb.
Yeah.
So he had told the family member, well, people die, but no, this your brother. And he got ran down in the street. That's just not supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm proud to hear him say what he's saying tonight, because that's growth.
Absolutely.
From when that first happened, how he was looking at things, you know what I'm saying? And it takes time. It takes time to get there. Like I just told Lawrence, it's going to, I don't feel like my son is in a better place. I mean, I know that he is, but then when I think about, you know what, Lawrence, I'm going to be so transparent with you about that statement. When somebody says, when somebody passes away, that they're in a better place, you know what comes to my mind? Somebody who's definitely ill, they've been sick, they were born, they had these, things going on, and the doctor may say 6 months, but they keep going on and on, because it's God, it's, the doctors tell you something, but, it's whatever God says. Or they're up in age. My mom passed away, going on 2 years now. My mother was 89. My mother was, as we knew, healthy as an ox.
Yeah,
I'm not over my mother dying because my mother wasn't sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when somebody said they're in a better place, I'm like, my son crossed the street and get hit by a car. He's not in a better place. He was crossing the street. Like, dude, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? So that's, Lawrence, when I hear that, that's what goes through my mind. But one day, I'm going to be there.
I know, and I mean that's growth too, because
that's
you
growth.
and I, we've had that conversation.
Yes, we have.
And so for you to have that thought process of a better place, and I believe that, if I'm understanding you correctly with that, because I kind of feel the same way at this point too, looking at the type of world that we're living in now.
Yes,
Tajay don't have to worry about no the C virus, and he doesn't have to worry about all of what's going on in the world, because it's a lot going on. So we know that he's at peace, he's in a safe place, and we know where he is, and he is at peace. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's great. I appreciate that. Now, I guess as young black men, y'all suffer losses. Like I've told Lawrence and his friends, like, it is by their age, all that they have gone through, and all that they've seen and all they lost. When I go back to the age of 19 and 20 years old, I can't say that I suffer those type of losses.
Me either. I can't.
So like as young black men, do y'all feel as though, as being young black in America, that this is safe grounds for you guys? Do y'all feel safe? Like, how do y'all feel as black men in America with all the losses and everything that's going on?
And it'd be days where I'd be asking myself the exact same question, like, do I feel safe? Like, anytime I step out of the house to go to the store or go outside and shoot some little hoops, I'd be asking myself, is it safe for me to step outside. But I just like when I got older and I started asking myself the exact same question, I just told myself, this is life. This is whatever happens, happen. You gotta trust in God, and
That's right.
once you trust in
You
Him,
go, you
and
said the magic word.
once you believe in Him, doesn't matter what come through your way, you gonna make through it. You gonna get through it by all means necessary. So I don't really worry about that too much. I just, you know what I'm saying, go with the flow and
Take them everywhere you go.
take whatever it goes. So that's what I do. I don't really
powerful.
stress about it.
That's powerful. I'm proud of you trusting in God. That's powerful. Absolutely, because we know that He's our protection at all times. That's wonderful. Thank you for that, Lawrence. How about you, Jeff?
It's very scary. But what Lauren said, you know, walk with your Creator.
Yeah.
Don't give up on Him, and just live day by day. But it's definitely scary being a black man in the DMV, in America, anywhere, because you never know when it's going to be your time.
For sure.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely, it's a lot going on in the society, and I think that, like, when we go back to when we were 19 and 20, I mean, things were happening in the street, but it's like it's accelerated.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
I was talking to Lawrence and his friends, and you know, when you look at all of these up and coming young rappers that have their whole future in front of them, they have made it, and all of a sudden someone takes their life, you know, and so, you know, I just think that, you know, as Lawrence and Jeff said, you gotta have the Creator with you. You have to have that spiritual protection. You have to believe in God and trust that God's going to keep you. And honestly speaking, too, as I tell Lawrence, and I'm sure that you told Jeff too, is be aware of your surroundings and the company that you keep.
Yeah,
Because that literally can you know, make or break, and you know, and it does come down to a life or death situation in terms of being around the right people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Jeffrey, he can attest. I've told him many a days, you have friends and you have associates. Learn how to maneuver the two.
Yes,
Don't mix your associates with your friends.
that's right.
Because Jeffrey's had a lot of friends, a lot of associates that were in the friend basket, but they were out doing little things, and he's like, Mom, why they doing that? Yeah, you know that's not, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
What you into and stuff like that or whatever. So you know,
Absolutely.
it's definitely the company you keep, because you can definitely, like, even if you say, okay, yeah, but that's my friend, but I'm not going to do that, but you may get caught up in the wrong place at the wrong time.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we kind of want to open it up for those that are watching us. If you have any questions tonight for our guests, we are in the studio. We want to thank People to People,
Yes.
Mr. Rodney Grimes, for allowing us to rent out his studio space and provide us with this platform here. If you guys want to call in with any questions for our guest tonight, the phone number is 703-752-6120. We would love for you guys to call in if y'all want to make a comment or questions. Give us a call. So we'll continue on from here. So I guess moving forward from, you know, the grief and the loss and learning to like you guys said, you know, developing those coping skills to kind of move forward. We were actually looking into a brotherhood for the siblings. We were thinking like am I my brother's keeper, like the segment today, and for the siblings, the young ladies having a sister to sister. If we were to kind of develop where, like how as the moms we get together and we have brunch, and you know we have a vision board workshop that's coming up. If we had you guys to kind of like start like say like a brother to brother connection where you guys kind of like go out bowling, different activities together. How do you guys, what would be your take on starting like kind of a brotherhood? Because you and Lawrence and Jeff, you guys are meeting for the first time today. Y'all definitely have a lot in common, being the same age and coping from the same loss. How do you guys feel about like starting like kind of a brother to brother program? Would that be something you'd be interested in?
I think it would be great because we will have something to relate on. A lot of people you come across, even if it's a friend or family, even though they're there for you, they really can't relate or feel the same.
They don't
pain.
understand. Yeah,
Absolutely.
They don't feel the same pain.
that's right.
So the fact that me and Lawrence or whoever going through the same thing we're going through can feel our pain is a relief.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that bring everybody closer together, not just people who just lost a sibling, just anybody who lost anybody that's they loved one or they care about, just be one big happy family, just whatever anybody going through, talk about it. We all here together, we all go through something. So, it won't hurt you if you speak up, talk about it, and
Get it off.
Yeah.
get it off your chest.
Yes,
have a
most
little
it definitely
fun.
won't hurt. It's gonna help.
It's
Yeah.
gonna help
Yes.
very much.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And what you said, Jeff, about having friends and stuff that don't understand, and people that may sympathize with what you've lost, but they don't know that hit because their brothers are still living. And Lawrence actually has a friend that's close to him that lost a brother as well, and his brother that passed actually was close with Tauheedah. So they do have that commonality, and I think it's important. Just like with me starting Mobile Moms, I realized that having family and friends, and I had people that were there for me, but if they never lost a child, they can only sympathize with what I'm going through, but they can't identify with it because they haven't felt it. But your mother, she can feel my pain because she knows what it is to lose a child. So it is important to have that commonality and have someone that you can talk to Lawrence about how you feel, especially with you going into that big brother role when you wasn't the big brother.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's like not only did you lose your big brother, but the dynamics, like where you are in the family now, you have taken position of the big brother. So it's like the dynamics of everything you always knew has changed. And that it takes a lot to grasp that and kind of work through that process, that because mentally it does do something to you. Me and Tasha talk all the time of like wrapping your mind around the fact that a child that you gave birth to is no longer here. And then with that being our older children, because it's like with Lawrence being my youngest child, it's like his role now is my only child on earth, whereas he was the baby.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So the dynamics of everything has changed. So I think it's definitely a much needed space to have someone that you can fellowship with and lean on or talk to and say, hey, I'm having a rough, because me and Tasha both are weird. I know that Joshua's birthday's coming up, or anniversary. We kind of check in and chime in on one another because we know that it's not, each day is not going to be heavy, but some days are going to be heavier than others, and those anniversaries and birthdays and stuff are definitely heavy days.
Yes, absolutely. And then piggybacking on sympathy. Sympathy is temporary. People they will sympathize with you momentarily or for a moment in time, but then in their mind, they move on. They go back to their regular lives. When you're grieving, it comes in waves. And I think I talked about this a little bit last week. You could be having a great week, and then the next week you can hear a song, you can smell a fragrance. I can think about, look, I should cook such and so tonight. Oh my God, that was Joshua's favorite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it'll break me all the way down. I was driving one day, and I love K. Michelle, and so did Tanina. my daughter that passed, and the song came on that she and I loved, and we would just sing together. And I broke down so bad. I had to pull over. I couldn't even drive. So it's like little things that just, you know what I'm saying? So
it's like a sucker punch.
Yeah. So it's like we're stuck in this new reality that we have to, you know, continue on living this life in. And, you know, people sympathize with us and then they move on. So definitely having somebody in common, somebody who can relate to both, you know, relate to your pain and what you're going through, it definitely helps. Because sometimes, you know, you might want to just pick the phone up and tell Lawrence, you know, Lawrence already know what you're going through because he might have felt that way yesterday. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's the commonality that, you know, we're talking about, you know, when you're dealing with somebody who has that same type of loss.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And to your point, you know, when you do have those moments where it's a song or it's, you know, I mean, I remember it would be times where you know, living in the same neighborhood where, you know, I raised my children, and part of my healing journey was walking to Tauheedah school every day, and I would walk to the school, and I would have those memories when he had a basketball game or when he had a football game or I had to drop him off at practice. And it's just, you know, those memories, and then sometimes it's a song that will come on that will remind me of him, or, you know, just so it's constant memories, and sometimes you can smile about them, and sometimes it will break you down in tears. I wanted to touch on how with the growth, and I want you know, Lawrence to know too that, you know, I have seen so much growth in you. You know, you were 16 when Tauheedah passed, right? You know, a couple of months before your 17th birthday. Yeah,
you
and
called the school and you was too scared to tell me on the phone, but I can tell in your voice what was going on. But, you know.
And you initially thought that he might have gotten into some type of trouble, because I didn't tell you on the phone that it was about Tauheedah, but I made sure that he was picked up from school, because my thing was I did not want anyone telling my child what had happened with his brother. And you know, people go to social media. You know, I think that one of the most heartless things is when, you know, you have celebrities that be like, oh, I didn't know my child died, and someone posted online and I found out that, you know. So it was very important to me as Lawrence's mom to be the one to let him know, you know, what was going on. But I go back to that time and how we have, and one thing that I want to kind of share that has kind of really been a saving grace and a builder for me and Lawrence is that we pray every night. Like that is something that we do every night. And we have done that since, you know, losing Tauheedah. And I know that God has strengthened us throughout the years because our prayer life is strong, and we know, you know, what has carried us through. But I have seen throughout the years that, you know, because it was sometimes where, you know, when it hit you, I remember taking you to school one day and how, it was like you were in a numb state, and I felt it because I was there too, and the tears just was coming down your face. And as a mother, and I'm sure you've probably felt this too, I've always felt like I wanted to take the pain off of you, because if I had to carry it all, because it wasn't your fault, and I know how much your brother meant to you, so it broke my heart to see your heart breaking, because there was nothing I could do to fix it, you know. So, but I see how God has helped you heal, and through our prayer life has built you up where you're able to, you know, talk about Tauheedah, and, you know, I know that you have your moments, you know, alone where it still comes to you, but I have seen how you have been healing. And I'm just proud of you that you're moving forward. And I tell you all the time that, you know, I know that Tauheedah is proud of you. for moving forward in this grief. And I thank you guys, because I know that having this, being on display like this and opening up, it is a lot, you know. But I would like to kind of keep this going, and you know, you guys connect. You know,
Yes.
we have with Mobile Moms, have 60 moms, and a lot of those mothers too have other children. And so I would love to kind of do something where, even if we just do a siblings day where we do like a bowling party, and where you guys are able to connect and meet with others, you know, siblings that have lost, you know, their big brother, their big sister, little brother, little sister, because I think it's important for you guys to have that connection, you know what I mean? And, you know, we can kind of, you guys kind of be the front runners of it. This is starting something new. You guys start to connect, and the connections just continue to evolve from here.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to chime in on any other questions for our gentlemen here? I don't want to overwhelm them with the questions.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about the, you know, me about the pain, the purpose, but I think establishing, like you said, the siblings thing will be great and awesome for them to, you know what I'm saying, that'll be something great for them to work towards doing, and then building those relationships.
Yeah.
That'll definitely help boost your morale with, you know what I'm saying, spending time with somebody who has that commonality with what you're going through. Definitely hits a little different.
Absolutely.
Because I know in my journey of grief, I mean, you know, you have to keep telling somebody what's wrong, even though when it's, you know, it may not be just anything in particular, but you have to keep it, just explain that over and over again. You know, it just gets a little overwhelming.
You don't have to
sometimes.
explain that to another mom.
Yes.
Like they know, you know, and it's one of those things where I've heard just so many things that kind of throw me off, but like one in particular, a mother that had lost her only child was saying how people would say, well, are you kind of over it? It's almost like you lost a shoe, you know, a job. Like, this is your child. And in this mother's case, it was her only child. So it's just, you know, some of the things that people say.
I'm in a couple of groups just like you are on Facebook, and some of the stuff that they post that people say to them, like it was one young lady, she must have had, you know, other children, and somebody made something. My whole thing is, I don't care if I got 10 kids, I don't want to live without now one of them. You know what I'm saying? And that's from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Tell me which child you can live without. None of them. So I think that's so heartless for somebody to say that to someone, you know. But you know, it's, you know, and it, you know, they say until it hit your street, you'll never understand. And this is a club that you don't want to be a part of. I'm telling you, I don't wish it on anyone. You know what I'm saying? But what we're striving to do is to help other mothers get through this thing, like we're trying to get through it day by day. With the strength of the Lord, that's all we can do. And lean on each other, love on each other, and that's our goal. And like I said, city to city, state to state.
That's right. That's right. We're traveling with Pretty in Peace or Not in Pieces, and a lot of people that may have not seen the first episode. Pretty in Peace and Not in Pieces is that God has given us beauty for ashes, because we have gone through the ringer. We have survived what is unimaginable to most, and we want to provide a platform and give mothers and fathers and siblings an opportunity to share their story, to show that, you know, you can move forward. It is purpose in the pain, and you develop relationships, you develop, you know, fellowships to kind of push you forward in that grief, because unfortunately it's a lot of people that don't survive this. It is mothers and fathers that have lost children, and shortly after losing their child, they have lost their life, because it is enough to kill you. the grief alone is enough to take you down a spiral. So, we're creating this platform of Pretty in Peace and Not in Pieces to show people and show the world that you can move on, and our children will want us to move on, and we are the voice for our children. So in addition of allowing the siblings and the fathers and the mothers to share their story, we're also going to tap into the unsolved cases. We both have pending cases that are unsolved, so we want to tap into that too, and bring the police officers on, bring community activists on board. I've partnership with different organizations that are advocates for gun violence, and we want to bring them on this platform because it's about building a community, providing education to those that don't know, giving people resources, like with our two sons saying, okay not to be okay. And a lot of times you don't even know what, that giving people that option to come on, share their stories, and then giving people hope too. Because I've had people come up to me like, oh, I watched your video on this, or with Mobile Moms, like, thank you for starting an organization like this, because even if I just get on a call and I'm mute, just to hear other mothers say that I will be okay, so you just never know the impact that you're having on people. So, and I know with Tasha and I both, it's not easy getting on camera with you guys. I know this definitely not easy for you guys. So I commend y'all for coming up, sharing your story, because you don't know what brother or sister that's watching this like, I went through the same thing, or okay, so they're going into year 4, so this is not going to kill me, because a lot of people are suffering in silence and they feel like they don't have anyone to talk to. So I guess from here the next thing would be planning a get together for the siblings. I would love to have you guys we all sit down and perhaps we can meet up for dinner and figure out like what activities you guys, because I can say bowling or Tasha can say something, but I guess we consider like OGs to y'all. So y'all tell us what y'all want to do, because we don't want to say, oh, this is a good idea for y'all, because we know we like brunch. We love brunch. We brunch. We be brunching. Yeah, we love brunch. That's what we love brunch. So, what you guys want to do, we can sit down and, say what you guys know, y'all generation. A lot of the mothers that are part of Mobile Moms, they have young adults to y'all age group. So y'all know what y'all into. So we can sit down and just like I'm doing a workshop next month with the moms, we can get together and do something for you guys. So we'll make that happen.
Then y'all got Jeremy and Justice. They 13 and 14.
Yeah.
They need some mentoring.
Yes.
For some big brothers. Jeremy was today. I said I told him that Jeffrey was coming over because he was gonna be on the podcast tonight. Oh, why Jeffrey got me on the podcast? I said because I said because Miss Tauheedah's son, they're the same age and they're the oldest brothers or whatever. I said, why you want to be on there, Jeremy? Tell me something. No, I'm not going to talk in front of everybody. I said, yes, you will.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is good stuff. Any final thoughts that you guys want to share and reflect, or last advice that you guys may want to provide to?
All I gotta say is, whatever you're going through, just know you gonna make it. Like, doesn't matter what you're going through, how many people you lost, or what the outcome is. You gonna make it, and you gonna, you know what I'm saying, see the better things in life, and you gonna have anything you wish for, anything. You just gotta keep on pushing, keep on living, making sure whoever's up there looking down on you, make sure you're making them proud each and every single day.
Good stuff. Thank you.
Love it, Lawrence.
Good stuff.
Everybody needs somebody. Can't do this alone.
Yes.
Talk about it. Don't let it bottle up inside. That's how it kills you inside. So just talk about it. Talk to whoever.
right. That's right. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Any final?
No, I just enjoyed this. It was really good.
Yes,
This was really good to have the siblings, come on and, talk about what they've been going through because, it's not easy,
Yes.
Especially when we get all hung up in our parenting and stuff that we're doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just, we're forever learning, even though we're, parents, it doesn't come with a handbook. So, sometimes you have to sit back and listen to your children and learn some things.
Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
I tell Lawrence, I've learned from him, and I don't know about you, but I feel like since losing Tauheedah, it forced me to kind of like go so deep inside and just not only just healing from losing him, but just old childhood wounds, just so much,
Mm-hmm.
and I told Lawrence, I said, I wish that your brother had the opportunity to meet this person that I am today,
Yes.
because I feel like, I was a young mom. Tauheedah, he passed at 21, and I was 21 when I got pregnant with him, and so I was a young mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you probably felt the same with Joshua,
Mm-hmm.
like you kind of grew up with
Yeah,
them.
I was a young mom.
So I was so young. So now at 46 years old and gone through so much and have put in so much work in the last 3 years of personal development and healing,
Yes.
I feel like Lawrence has the best version of me, where I wish that Tauheedah, even though, and this is my baby, I love him so much, he said, Mom, you've always been a good mom. So Tauheedah did have the best version
Yes.
of you. And that just touched my heart too.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know the work that I needed to put
absolutely.
into.
Personally,
Yes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just, and realizing that, and just, telling Lawrence too. And I had to realize that he's a young man. He'll be 20 years old next month.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to parent differently, and I had to respect that he was a man now. That I can't
Yes.
he's not a little Woody no more.
Yeah.
He's a grown man. So, and I told him, I said, I have learned a lot from you as well, and watching you develop and grow. So, and like I said, thank you. I tell him all the time, he's my reason to keep living, and I have learned so much from you, and I'm so proud of you. I really am. Keep moving forward and keeping God first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was really good. Thank you
Yes.
guys both for coming on. It has been a great segment. This is not going to be you guys last. When we traveling with this podcast, so like I told him, I have to get his passport. Get your passport, because we traveling with Pretty in Peace and Not in Pieces, and you guys are going to be on the flights with us. So
Y'all might be bringing y'all own guests
exactly
for y'all segment.
That's right. Y'all own, and my brother's keeper segment. Bringing on your own guests and taking over the podcast and running things. So I'm excited. I'm excited to work with you guys, and thank you guys again for coming on. So this is a wrap for us. We are wrapping up. We want to thank everyone that has joined us tonight. We are the ladies of Pretty in Peace, Not in Pieces. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.